Good morning, everyone. Sorry to leave you hanging yesterday. When we got to the hotel and did all the things we needed to do and whatnot, we were both just like so tired we couldn't film anything else. So I think all you have from yesterday is like a clip of our hotel. I'm eating breakfast here now. Got some toast. And yes, we'll do some more explaining later.
Wow. Ashland, man.
Just walking to church with the deer. This is wild.
That's crazy.
They're cute.
Bye, guys.
So apparently there's these little doors a lot of places in Ashland that are supposed to be like little fairy doors or something. Oh, there's a little gnome in there. How cute. They have like Shakespeare festivals and they have like, I don't know, it's kind of like a theme of the town, I guess. But anyway, we just found one walking to a coffee shop from church. Oh, in other news, there's a deer sitting in this person's yard, just chewing. Wow, what a time. All right, we got some time before our train comes. Coffee and donuts, Henry's favorite thing. We'll see how it is. We were gonna go to the coffee shop we went to yesterday, which I didn't ever film, but it was cute. We're like, a lot of coffee shops in this cute little town. Why don't we try a new one? So here we are. It is pretty smoky, as you can see here, but yeah, gonna see how it is. All right, this place is delivering. Look at how cute this is. Delicious Boston cream. Henry, what did you get?
I got a cinnamon roll. Wow, it's a little heavier than I thought.
Dense.
Yeah.
And an iced latte. He usually gets coffee, and then he learned from me that I would keep getting lattes because I don't usually drink lattes in my normal life. And I'm like, this is the time you can live it up with lattes. So he started ordering lattes now. And yeah, this place is delivering. All right, hello everyone. Currently waiting at the bus stop, and I feel like I need to draw another map at some point, but don't have supplies to draw a map right now. Basically, we'll probably talk more about this at some point in the future, but a while back, so we have a hard deadline of when we have to be done with the trail at the end, the last week of September. And so it was sort of a process coming to accept that we were not going to be able to finish the trail this year in its entirety. And that was a while ago that we came to that realization, and it sort of allowed us to make different choices, which is nice. It was kind of, we didn't even know if it was really going to be possible, and if it was possible, it would mean like hiking all day every day and basically not doing anything else. I didn't really think that I could handle it mentally or physically. And it's been like way more enjoyable since we decided that, which that was a while ago, that we knew we would be not doing 100%. So what we had planned to do was do as much as we quote unquote reasonably could, which is sort of like a gray area, but basically while still like enjoying what we're doing, getting as far as we could. And so we had planned to at least do Washington and Oregon, and like in their entirety, and at least go back and do the 300 miles between Sonora Pass and Kennedy Meadow South. Kennedy Meadow South being like where we had hiked up to in the desert, and then depending on the timing, like possibly a little bit more in Northern California, because we had already done that like 130 mile section. So that was the plan, and all was well with that plan until so you guys saw the other day we had I came up with one of my harebrained schemes, which actually ended up being a big blessing, to stay at Hyatt Lake instead of Ashland on our way to the border, and then continue on to the border, because we wanted to finish 100% of Oregon, and you can't get off the trail really at the Oregon-California border because it's just like a dirt, it's like a Forest Service road, and so we were gonna have to hike to the up to the border and then hike the 30 mile or 28 miles back to Ashland. So we're gonna be repeating like 28 miles of trail, similar to what we had to do at the Canadian border. Not a big deal. So anyway, that was the plan. And so that day, I guess that was Thursday, and so we hung out at Hyatt Lake, we ate lunch there, we checked into our cabin, and then we went to dinner, and literally during dinner, we were only there for like an hour, during dinner, all of the smoke rolled in like so quickly. When we first got there, people were, I guess, calling their resort and saying like, oh, is it smoky there and stuff, and they were like, no, and then like during dinner, like, actually it just kind of like appeared. So anyway, I got a message that night from a childhood friend who lives in the area. Who was like, hey, the smoke is like really bad here. You know, if you need a ride or something, like let me know. And I was like, all right, well, we're still planning on going, but like, you know, we'll let you know in the morning. We wake up in the morning, and I kind of already said this part. I guess I said some of this, but I just feel like it needs to be a cohesive thing. The air AQI, I guess, air quality index, something like that, which we're not that familiar with because we haven't lived in places with fires, thankfully, up to this point. And was in the 400s, which is apparently very, very bad. So we're like, all right, we can't hike today. And we actually ran into some other hikers who had, again, I don't know if we've talked about this already, but some other hikers who had hiked that day about 8 miles, and they said it was like awful. It was like really hard to hike. So we were happy that we made this decision, but then the decision was, okay, are we going to try to wait for the smoke to clear enough and like finish up, because we have 50 more miles of Oregon, so close yet so far. Are we going to do that, or are we just going to go ahead back down to Sonora Pass to finish that section? And the risk was sort of like, okay, well, if we set off, and the smoke was like getting better, but then it was also supposed to get worse the next day. And so we just like didn't know what to do. They have all these like smoke forecasts, but like literally fires are popping up. Like one popped up like 6 miles from our hotel last night. So it was just this sort of thing of like, we could wait, but then if we like go back to trail and it's really bad, then we have to get like rescued again, and there's only so many points you can get out. And then like if new fires are popping up, or like the winds change, and also the forecast just showed that the smoke was going to be bad for like several days. And there's a difference between bad like 100 or 200 and bad like 400 or 500. But even the, you know, 200s, like it's not really advised to hike. And so it's all just kind of like, it was a very difficult decision, but we ultimately decided that if we stayed and tried to wait out the smoke and get through it, we would have to cut off miles in the Sierra probably. And it seemed like a better use of time and resources to just cut our losses, leave Oregon, leave that 50 miles unfinished, and head to the Sonora Pass entrance, or PCT section. Anyway, so that's what we're doing now, and I am pretty sad because really wanted, you know, we wanted to finish the whole trail. Well, if you go way back, it's like you want to do a continuous footpath. Okay, that's not going to happen. Okay, you want to do the whole trail. Okay, that's not going to happen. And it's like, these are all things that we decided based on the information we have and this and that. But it's still hard. And so the next thing was like, okay, we want to finish all of Oregon and Washington and that 300-mile section. And so it just feels like another thing of like, oh, that's not going to happen. So that's a pretty big disappointment for me. But I still think it's the right decision, I guess, hopefully. And I am excited about the 300 miles. Other than that, I think the mosquitoes are going to be really bad. But other than that, it's supposed to be really beautiful, and it sounds like the rivers are manageable. Oh, and the hurricane. Now there's a hurricane that's going to hit the Sierras too, so we'll be getting there after that. So hopefully it won't impact the river situation too much. But anyway, that's the summary of what's going on. So basically, like, Friday was when our friend picked us up, and then we were there Friday and like part of Saturday, and so then Saturday, yesterday, she brought us to Ashland because we just had wanted to like see Ashland and spend the night here and stuff. And then so we've been here today, and then now we're waiting for the Amtrak bus that's going to take us to Klamath Falls to get on the Amtrak, to get on various other buses and another train, and it's the whole thing. But anyway, we're gonna end up in Reno, and then we're gonna end up in Bridgeport.
Yep.
And then eventually we're gonna end up on the trail. Henry has planned all of this. So.
How are we getting to Bridgeport, you ask? We're taking a bus to a train, to another train, to another bus, to another bus. Oh wait, that's to get to Sonora Pass, the last bus. But yeah, bus, train, train, bus, bus.
I think this is a combination of Amtrak and Sierra Transit and
Eastern Sierra Transit.
something else maybe. And I think we have to hitch at some point.
Or train.
Anyway, that's all. Oh, and our tent. That's another thing. We have to call the post office tomorrow because our tent that has been repaired is in the post office here and we forgot about it. We currently have a loaner tent, so we're gonna have to try to get the post office to forward the tent because it's Sunday and our train leaves soon. And yeah, post office is not open, understandably. So that's another thing we have to figure out. And probably call Z-Packs and explain our situation so they're not like wondering where their tent is. Anyway, all right. I've gone on about this enough. I may draw a map at some point if I can, but yeah, we'll see how it goes, and that's all. Bye. Right, here's our first bus. Amtrak, here we come.
All right, we got to Klamath Falls on our bus. Pretty uneventful. We were rolling in here through some warehouses and stuff, and this lady we're on the bus with looks around and goes, "Dang, this place is scary." Definitely agree. Here's the historic train station. I think it's pretty darn old. It's got a lot of really cool tile work and woodwork inside, back when they used to make things out of real wood and put a ton of little details into it. I'll show you in a second. Oh, and kind of a nice sunset through the warehouses. All right, there's Pamela. We got our old style benches here with the little dividers, the very straight back. We have a lot of wood, this wood paneling, all the little details. It's absolutely beautiful work. There's the ticket counter. There's the rest of it. This is actually a really nice train station. 6 Sunset. That is beautiful. So, you may be wondering, can I bring my hand grenade on the Amtrak? The answer is no. You also apparently can't bring ice axes. Or your nunchucks and throwing stars. Despite the fact that you can check guns, throwing stars are just too dangerous.
Well, folks, I don't want to be a whiner, so I'm just going to try to report the facts, which are that we are in the midst of a 23-hour journey, and our first train has just been delayed. Now to try to get seats next to each other. Henry's tired. Me too.